coming, and we're all here, and we're all together. So, one love, and on that note, I have to introduce the slam poet champion of the city, okay? Serious. I see her hammer. I mean, just a brilliant poet in all ways, shapes, and forms. And she does pastries. Like, whoa. She does it all. So on this note, I introduce you, Bethany.
What's up, everybody? This is really exciting for me today because there's a lot of people who've never heard my poetry here before, so that's awesome. I want to start too by sending just like a deep, deep gratitude and thank you to Robert and the Wildcat staff. You know, it's really important to have a safe space for the LGBTQ community, and this is that space, and I am deeply, deeply grateful for it. So thank you. Normally, I gauge an audience and pick my poems as I see what I feel will be the most received. Tonight I did something a little bit differently. I decided to pick a theme, and so the theme of tonight is truth and epic queerness. And so this first one is called Elephantiasis. I'm nervous as hell, and I'm pretty sure everyone can tell. That's why I never hold the microphone. All these tall, skinny stands and my shaking hands reveal the truth that has always been my elephantiasis. And I wear it like a mask, but really it's just a facade of anxiety. And if really I could just for once be honest with myself and call it what it really is, I'll shout it aloud, force it out my pursed lip mouth. Mother fucking insecurity. Gut-wrenching, heart-entrenching, and so dutifully manicured to build and maintain these walls, I think I need to feel protected. But outside this cave, I know there's beauty in the little things, the new things, the few and far between things, and I found passion in the ass I made of myself by being passive, and I'll be damned if I don't get blinded by that selfish need for sabotage. It's fucking savage, this seemingly insignificant construct of time. I know it's precious, and I'm not trying to waste this plight, but still some days, more often than not, these days, my mind is not stronger than the matter, and I give in. Then all that's left is fight or flight, and it's not that I'm cold-hearted, no, it's just sometimes I don't know how to manage this package. It even comes with a warning label that reads stubborn and complicated, but when it glows meekly in the darkness, it whispers, I am delicate and fragile. And that's no more than a twisted shard of emotional shrapnel lodged tightly between who I am and who I have slowly sauntered by until I realized it was she who I wanted to be. My ego for so long, the I and finite, my capacity for compassion through my actions lacking is written permanently on my fucking chest. I am, but it wasn't until the last time I lashed out I realized I am distracted. Stumbling closer to the abyss of ignorance than humble action. Everybody needs somebody to be inspired by. We're all squeezing the bottle as much as we can here. There's jokes, and I sometimes tell them, but there's no filter here unless it's laced with sarcastic detachment. So now I'll chase the stars for what I know of patience, steadfast on my journey on this road to latent greatness. Broken? No. Only bent and definitely jaded, but these seams are mended by the graces of my friendships. Maybe only present for that reason or that season, but it's a lifetime full of the gift of others' presence. And so with vigor and persistence, I will strive to ride that fine line, equal distance from my heart, yet burning brightly in my mind. She knows how not to blow it right before it's about to get good. Thank you. So a big part of my journey into Epic Queerness was experiencing the first relationship I ever had where I was rejected by my partner because of my sexuality. And that was a hell of a fucking journey, and I'm deeply appreciative to all of my friends who went through that with me because I lost and found myself at the same time. So this next one is called Moshua Jead. If you know, you know. It's not a pretty picture, but I'll try to paint it accurately. I just walked in the door, arms full of pizza fixins and the stink of the grill still on my chef's coat and in my hair. Bing! Where you at, babe? It's strange, because you only send texts like this when you have been drinking. And a week ago you told me you were taking the hiatus required of you to keep your relationship from imploding. So now I'm on alert and I hear your phone bing! Again, outside. You are home. And you know that I am, yet you sent a text asking anyway. I'm trying to ignore it and clean up the trail of ants overflowing the dog food bowl, unload the groceries, rid myself of this stinky chef's coat, and attend to our adorable miniature poodle who is begging with the whines of 1,000 shelter dogs for my attention. Your hi as you walk in is equally as awkward as your beeline for the bathroom, and in a way I'm hoping that this violent vomit session is because you are sick, not drunk. 20 minutes later, you emerge, glassy-eyed and wobbly, and this is the moment you have decided to tell me that you are feeling pride for me for embracing my sexuality, and happy for me that someone wants to throw me my very own coming out party. Coming out in my perfect place on the queer spectrum, mind you. This is information that to you is not new, yet you stumble over your words and utter the inference of a suggestion that you would like to come to. No, I said no before and no again. It took you to the bottom of a bottle to find the space inside that had enough courage to try and embrace all that is I. The proof is in the pudding that you don't know how to make, and a tiny breadcrumb trail from years worth of judgment cakes. Did you just say that to me so you could come to the party? Well, yeah, you reply, 2 wobbles away from sitting and now only 1 open eye. No, I said no before and no again. It took just over a year for this fucker to tell me to my face how uncomfortable it is to be with someone like me, who can't understand or won't understand. That puts it more accurately. And now I'm detached and disappointed, and I'll forgive you eventually, but still be detached and disappointed. And then I ask myself, is a closed mind really wasted if it was never truly open wide? Because now with the precision of 1,000 broken records, I'll forget you. Or at least try to forget this version of you. And this version of me. She doesn't come around often unless I am in need of protection from everything. My conscious self included. Thank you. I've actually never done that one out loud before, so that felt really good. Great. Keep going. Okay, so the next one is basically the subsequent end to that relationship, and you know it's important for the purposes of both art and healing to express yourself when you are on the mend. So I've done this one out loud a couple times, but never out of the space of hurt. I am strong, like a woman who knows when to move on. I want to be stronger than to text you at 3 a.m. to tell you how much I hate sleeping in our bed alone. I want to be stronger than to hope that every car that turns the gravel outside the window that used to be ours is yours. I want to be stronger than to rock and cry, head between my hands, pulling at the roots of all that I am, like a woman who is sick and fucking tired of being told she is too much. That her fire burns too bright and scalds too close to those places that you don't want to touch because fear made you its bitch and you thought that I would too. But I thought If I made a bed for your guard down next to my ego, maybe you too would want to seek your truth. No, I'm not.
Okay.
Thank you guys for going on this journey with me. I really appreciate it. Vulnerability is important, and I think that we forget that a lot. So this next one is new. I started writing it a few months ago, and I finished it a few days ago, so this is the first. Y'all are the first. It's called Too Queer for Your Binary. I don't want to be loved before I'm understood. Being gender non-conforming is the most radical act of self-love in which I have ever participated unconsciously. They called me a tomboy. I called it raised with four brothers, survival of the fittest, just trying to fit in. It's been 3-inch hairs on my inner thigh longer than I have been willing to engage in intimate activity with anyone who claims to only eat shaved pussy. It's been 2-inch hairs in my armpits longer than the last time I allowed anyone's opinion of what a woman truly is mock the reflection of who I choose to be. And who I choose to be may not reflect a construction that's binary. Who I choose to be is the divine energy capable of bringing life into this cataclysmic reality. Bound we remain by the roles this socioeconomic gender construct forces us all to play. For as long as women have worn binders around their waists to fit a statute of beauty, trans men wear binders around their breast in conformity to the stereotype of masculinity. And I can't help but feel anger at this system of oppression and wonder if it didn't exist, would we so deeply need to define who we want others to see us as? I have been strange and unusual for as long as I can remember, yet I can't remember when that also translated into the deeply flawed binary of my sexuality. I can, however, remember the first time I knew it was okay to be this way. I can remember sitting across the table from my mother, 5 children later, 5 years divorced, 5 years rejected by the family that had always been our church until she stepped brightly out of her shame-laden closet into the vastness of all that has become the freeing bond of our epic queerness. I can remember the first time I ever met someone who identified as non-binary. I remember mocking them. I remember understanding the indifference to the binary, and even in the depth of my own epic queerness, I could not find it within myself to expand the warmth of all that makes me a woman, to honor and cherish what made them. To bring the same value and blessings to their life and their plight, to embrace in them what had always been present in my life, my truth. Truth in my presence, truth in my purpose, truth in the abundance of love that I don't have to hesitate to exhale into every day while towing the line of who really gives a fuck anyway. I do. Because sometimes the spirit doesn't match the body, and sometimes the body doesn't match the spirit. The anarchist in me wants to burn it all to the ground, and it all started because they called me a tomboy. I called it raised with 4 brothers. Survival of the fittest. Just trying to fit in. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. That was really special. It's always awesome to be here and to perform with these guys, and this has been really great. So thanks everybody for being here, and enjoy the rest of the show.
You know, there's something really special about when you can use words, you know? And I love it. I love it. I'm a word person, you know? And like, Bethany's one of the best I've ever known. And that's what's up. So on that note, let's continue the show.